Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the PSE Citation 40. So 40 inches. It's got the SE cam. Now this is the same cam PSE have been using for a number of years. Rotating module to change the draw length from 28 to 33.5 inches in draw length. Speed of 314 feet per second. Brace height of 7 3/4 inches. Adjustable in let off from 65 to 75, so you just move this little thing forward here. A being the longest letter, and you can see this is set on J now, so this should be 29 inches. So what has PSE changed on the Citation versus the Perform, which is last year's model? They've changed the limb pockets. They're longer now. Different limb pocket system. It's got a locking system. They've got rid of the lateral limb system to move limbs left to right. That's gone. They've made the limbs wider, more shims in the limbs here. So making the limbs wider is meant to make the bow more stable. You've got two positions here for lower mount back stabilizers, two positions here for stabilizers. And also this has gone to a more deflex riser, so moving the grip further forward in relation to the limbs than the Perform. So this bow should be more stable to shoot. They've also changed the cable guard. Here it's now an aluminium rod. This is longer here with two screws there holding it. So the limb profile's changed. It's thinner here. The old limbs were thicker in this spot here, so it should be more uniform flexing of the limbs. Now this bow should feel the same as any PSE bow with an SE cam, because it's just the cam design. Now this is the first time I've drawn back one. This should be at 60 pounds. Now it should be at 60. Feels harder. Now one of my friends got one of these bows and he weighed it in a machine. It was 64 pounds. That was meant to be a 60 pound. That felt particularly hard to start with. I was expecting it to be light to start with. Now it's getting easier, getting easier, getting easier, getting easier, getting easier. A dead stop there. Now this feels short for 29. Now you'll see the bow when I shoot, it jumps forward like that. You can see it's not balanced in my hand. Now the reason it's not balanced is because you're going to put a big long stabilizer on this bow with a lot of weight out the front. So you want this bow to be backwards balanced. Now the speed, that was a velocity, gold tip velocity, 400 spine arrow with a 90 grain point with a pin bush in the backhand. It weighs 327. That shot 283. Let's just shoot another one. Now with this cam system, you can see like it starts off quite aggressive and then it kind of gets easier as you draw it. So it's aggressive there, and now it's getting easier, 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 easier until it stops and you don't really feel the valley. .284. Now we're going to shoot a couple of different arrows. These are my VAPs. These are a 350 spine. They're 29 inches, 140 grain points. So these are what I normally shoot for target. So these should be a bit slower. .260 feet per second. The last one I'm going to shoot, these are my other target arrows. These are Victory VXTs, and I've been shooting these. I shot these last weekend in a shoot. They've got 150 grain points in them. They're 350 again, spine. .267, which is interesting. The VXTs are faster. VXT is slightly shorter, but it's got 10 grain heavier point. Vanes are the same, both have pins, so it's that much shorter but 7 feet per second faster, but you've got a 10 grain heavier point in the front end. The bow, the grip feels nice. It feels slightly wider than the Focus, but it feels the same really. It feels like a PSE. So if you're familiar with the PSE, it feels like a PSE. It's got the same cam, it's got the same grip, everything feels the same. It feels solid, it feels very rigid in design, it feels good. So with that, we're going to go back to 18 and see how well I shoot. Okay, so I'm back here at 18 meters with the Citation. I shot about 4 practice arrows. The last one was a high 10, so I'm happy with that. I'm just shooting a basic 5-pin sight with a whisker biscuit, basic D loop, no peep sight. Just a back. This is the back tension release aid I shoot. I shoot Victory VAP arrows. These are pretty old. You'll see I shoot Sports. You can see how old that is. I shoot them literally, I don't care which one I grab, they all shoot the same. So what I found about this bow, the grip felt just natural to me, which is what I said before. It feels good. I didn't see any wobble with the pin at all, and I think that's due to the large brace height, almost 8 inches. The bow just, you get none of that twitchy sight pin stuff. Just easy to aim. I moved this little thing up so it was hopefully out the way of my eye. But the bow felt good. Like when you shoot, this bow would obviously be better with the stabilizer, because when you shoot it kind of bounces like that, but quite nice to shoot. So let's just have a few shots. Now, I'm going to say, due to the limb angle not being completely 90 degrees, it feels like there's a bit of force forward. Like it doesn't feel like it wants to jump forward in your hand, and I certainly, that's the way I hold my grip. It's kind of loose, there's no sling. The bow's not jumping out of my hand, but there's more vibration than with bows with 90. Oh, look what happened. Cable guard came loose. I was going to say, that one had a bit of vibration in it. That was literally, you've seen every shot I've taken with this bow. So there's the cable guard come loose. Now this is a Torx set, so to take that, we're just going to pop this off. So you can see that just came loose, so we're going to tighten that back up. We're going to get Torx Allen key. It's always worth carrying Allen keys with you, because you don't want to be at a shoot or a field shoot and not have Allen keys and something like this comes loose. Now if this comes loose again, so I'm just tightening this up, put a little bit of Loctite on it, thread locker, and we'll be fine. So that's it there. Now if that happens in a tournament and you're shooting and something like this happens, you put your hand up and it's called an equipment failure. You have 20 minutes to fix your bow. You got to make sure you put your hand up, because if you don't put your hand up, then you just lose those arrows. Now that was interesting. Be interesting to see where the other arrows go. You see that one went in the middle, sort of. I was going to say that one had a bit more vibration than the normal shots. I'm like, the other shots didn't feel like that. What was interesting with that, it was quite a few turns to get that under tension again. interesting. I feel like all the arrows to the left of the target now. I'm wondering if that's because of this cable guard. Anyway, we're just going to keep shooting. See how it groups. Now yesterday I shot a competition. I shot a state record, so that was cool. And I was struggling. I had chest pain, so I didn't know if it was a heart attack or I just pulled some muscles in my chest. It's like, hey, I'm not going to stop, right? So if I get carried away to the hospital, I've been shooting since I was 12 and I've never not finished a shoot. So I'm like, you can't drag me off on in an ambulance before I don't finish. So anyway, I don't even know where I'm getting at with this. The arrow was coming off my rest with the bow. I was shooting a super focus, but I just keep shooting, and I had to wind down the bow because, yeah, the arrow just kept coming off just because I was struggling with the draw. But my good shots were really good. That was a really crappy shot. I know where I was going with this. This shoulder I felt like kept raising in the tournament when I was fatiguing. So, and I feel like it's raising now. So I'm just gonna bear in mind to try and keep this shoulder down when I'm shooting. They certainly don't look like they're in the middle, do they? Now, how do I feel about this bow? Well, first off, I'm really happy with the PSE Supra. Super happy. And I feel like this bow is so similar to the Supra. Same cams, same sort of limbs, same riser, same sort of specs, you know, same axle, same brace height, similar speed, same cams. It's just got to shoot through riser. But what I really like, I like this locking system here to lock the limbs up. I do like that. I do like the multiple points to put the stabilizer so you can play with. I do like the new limb design on this bow. Now, I always get lots of questions about which bow should you shoot, which cams should I shoot. Look, I shoot about the same scores with all bows. And I had a person complain yesterday, and I said, send me the bow and I'll do a video with you and I'll shoot a good score with that bow, which he probably thought I was being rude, and I wasn't. Like, most bows are pretty good. It's the Archer which is the problem. So what I like about this bow of the Supra, obviously the limbs, I like those stabilizer, I like the locking system, and this bow's a little bit heavier than the Supra, which is okay. I'm okay with that because I can just drop some weight off the stabilizers. Look, when I do these reviews, I obviously do them just with a whisker biscuit and 5-pin sight without stabilizer. This bow would shoot a lot better with the stabilizer because the bow's going to be naturally balanced with the stabilizer. So you're probably going to find this group is not as good as some of the hunting bows where the bow's better balanced in my hand. But saying that, probably the cable guard being a little bit off at the start probably threw me a bit. I'm going to say, like, I had two of these bows come in, and one of my staff is shooting one of them. And this rod, these two screws came loose and the rod came off as he was shooting a shot. Like, it was all fine, he just screwed it back in. You just got to be careful with that stuff, and before you go to a tournament, make sure you've shot lots and you're confident in your product. Like, I've got a state championship coming up next weekend. As much as I'd like to shoot this bow, I won't be shooting this bow. I'll be shooting the bow I'm familiar with. Just shoot a couple more. So the EM versus the SE cam. This is a very smooth draw. And I'm not sure why I'd shoot the EM over the SE. I feel like the bow I get for myself will probably be the EM, because that's what I shot with the Supra. And it's not that I shot any better with the Supra versus the Perform. I shot literally the same scores with them. I just felt the Supra was a little bit easier to aim. So if this is at 29 inches, the draw length feels short. It feels like 28 to 28 and a half. It's easy to adjust. I love the finish, love the graphics on this. I think this is a nice looking graphic. I really like this color. So for myself, I was thinking about ordering a custom, and I was seeing if PSE could do, this is me thinking out loud, I was thinking about doing the orange with white limbs and orange cams. But I really like, this is the platinum, and I really like this finish. So all the colors are nice, and believe it or not, I get lots of questions about which color I prefer. Let's go and check how that group is. Okay, so I'm up here at the target, and you can see I clearly can't get my arrows around the group. In fact, it's a pretty average group. The arrows are spread left to right, and I'm going to say probably they're even spread up and down more than I like. In fact, it's not an impressive group at all. And yesterday I shot pretty good. Now this is the first I've shot today, literally you've just seen in the video, and I didn't feel like they were bad shots. You know, I felt like the pin was dead in the 10 when I shot. I felt like the draw length was too short for me. I didn't feel like I felt constricted in the shot. And you know, I've shot better with hunting bows than this. Saying all that, I set it back there at 18 meters. I think a lot of that's got to do with the balance of the bow, because the bow is not balanced in your hand. But the shots felt clean, the draw is easy as far as you don't feel it drop into a valley. It feels smooth all the way. The hardest is the very start. The grip feels good. I like this bow. That is a horrible group. Let's call it, it's horrible. Saying all that and saying how much I like the Supra, and knowing how well I've shot with some bows in some of these reviews, that would not stop me buying this bow. And it would not stop me saying of all the top of the line target bows that are on the market today, I would choose this. And people might say, it's, well, you're a PSE fan, you're a PSE distributor. And I'm going to tell you my justification for this. One, I think the PSE Supra is the best value target bow on the market at about the $1,400 mark. I don't think there's much question about that. This bow takes 4 times as long to make as a Supra, so it's more expensive. This rise is more expensive. Limb pockets are different, the limbs are different. I like this limb locking system. So the extra $800 odd to me it's worth it. To me it's going to shoot the same as I shoot the Supra, but it's got these things here which I want. It's got the new limbs. I like the idea of the new limbs. I've always liked the idea of a more balanced limb. Whether you're going to shoot better with it or not is another question. This is metal as opposed to plastic, which I like. I like the multiple stabilizer positions at the front and at the back. I like that. Even though the cable guard came loose and it caused all the arrows to it must have been loose to start with, because obviously all my arrows were spot on. They were literally lined up before it moved there. And moving this cable guard moves your arrows from left to right, so because it induces some torque into the bow. So saying all that, I do like the Bowtech. The Bowtech was really nice. I shot that really well. Wasn't wrapped in the paint finish of it. The white might be better. I like the Elite result. I didn't think it was as smooth through the rollers as this feels. One thing I like about the PSE, and you'll see with the previous video I did, as I've got a list of all my I've got my old PSEs there that I've had for years and years, and it doesn't matter if the bow's 10 years old, it's still a good bow, and it looks like the day I brought the bow. It's got the same strings on it, it's got the same limbs, it's got everything's the same. So for that reason, this bow just gives me confidence. It gives me confidence that the bow is an improvement on the bow I already shoot. More expensive, yes, but it's an improvement on the bow I already shoot. And for $800, look, I shoot all the time, and I'm pretty happy to go with this. I think I'll go with the EM cam. There are some people who say you better shoot a bow towards maximum draw length. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think I would go with the EM cam. And for my own testing, once again, I found no difference as far as EM and SE cam in scores. Shootability, the EM cam was a little bit harder to draw, but I would probably go the EM cam again, just because I was happy with the Supra that I shot last time. So I'm going to say whichever target bow you choose, you're going to be happy with it, because it's going to shoot fine. It's going to shoot a lot better than you can shoot. So, but for me, I like this because it's just another bow that I would add and go, well, this is the bow I shot in 2021. Saying that, I do want to shoot the other bows and shoot them one-on-one and shoot scores at competition levels with them and sort of see how they compare. So that's my plan. And yeah, my plan now would be to order one of these. And it's not that I think I'll shoot better with this than the Supra. I just think this has got some added features that I might like. I do like the limb locking feature, and I do like the limbs, so I like that stuff. So with that, I want to give it a go and see if I can improve my scores by a couple of points. Like on the weekend, the score I shot was 2 points off the highest score shot at my club in the club's history. 2 points. I shot an 8 in one end. The wind came up and I just shot an 8. I had some bad, I had a few bad arrows. I had lots of good arrows, but 2 points was all I needed to shoot the highest score shot at that club. Anyway, so that's why I would get this, because I'm trying to chase the 2 points out of the 1200. I don't need much, I just need a couple more points. But yeah, I like this. I like the graphics on the Citation. I like the way it feels. I like the draw. But this is the same cams. Like if you've got a Supra, you've got one of the older ones, this is the same cam. Same cams, nothing's changed. But I do like the new riser design. I like the new limb design on the bow. So with that, I think I like the way the bow looks. I think it looks cool. So yeah, I feel like I want to hang them up in my new store and say in 2020 2015 I shot this bow and this is what I kind of won with it. In 2021 I shot this bow and this is what I won with it. And I kind of want to know if they shoot better or worse and how they shoot. And the only way I'm going to know that is to go and shoot one. So with that, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Check it out and see what you think about the new PSE Citation. And once again, if you can't afford this bow, look at the PSE Super. It's a very good shooting bow. They've won the US Nationals, Vegas with it last year. This year, 2020. I mean, people have had huge success with that bow, so check it out. But I do like the machining on this bow. I like what PSE have done, and I think I can shoot a better group than that. That's just a horrible group. PSE probably hate me for it. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand. Enjoy your archery and thanks for watching. Bye.